have not shared a daily spread. I call it daily. I take a photo a day. So I haven't shared one of these with you in a while. This is how I do my memory keeping. I posted a flip through of January to June on my Instagram. Make sure you check that out because I finally got all caught up. But I wanted to show you one of these spreads. This is using pages from the Daisy Planner. And let's see, I can show you one of my older ones. We have some of these in the store. You can get them bound or unbound. This is an older one, but we do have a 12-month one now that you can get bound or unbound. But these are the basically the daily pages, and I use them for my photo a day memory keeping. And I am using items from the scrapbooking kit for this. And so what I like to do is I will add a photo a day, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I follow these lines. I mean, they're guidelines, but I like to break up all that vertical like that, and which is also why I love our particular layout, because we have the horizontal for the Saturday and Sunday. I love the way that it keeps these from getting too long, but then you also have the option then of a horizontal element mixed in. So it makes laying out and designing these pages super, super easy, I feel. So I went in and stamped. I always stamp the date real large at the top. I like to sometimes add a larger photo over here, and I did that there. And I actually stamped right on the photo. You can do that. It's a trick I love to do. Use an ink like a StazOn ink though, that's meant for glossy surfaces, and then it won't smear. The Winter Wonderland, I stamped that right on there, and then I added a bunch of the chipboard elements on here. The pretty snowflake, the word winter, added that on there as well, and the little yum yum and the little quote there. And then I went through and I added my photographs. Then I used, the stamp set has these fun little snowflakes. So I filled in some of the areas with some of the snowflakes. So I did that as a next layer. Then I went in and I love these glitter swirls. We haven't done these in a long time, and I thought I want to do them. It's been a while. Let's add them. You can cut them into pieces. Now they're glitter, but it doesn't come off. So if you have, like, I don't want glitter in my house because it ends up everywhere, don't worry, this glitter does not come off. And it has a really pretty kind of blue, I don't know if you can see that on camera, kind of blue tint to it when you turn it the right way. But they peel off real easy. You can cut them into pieces. So I added a few of those along the top here. And then we also did something fun. We did star-shaped glitter dots this month. I added one of those in the white one in the middle of this snowflake. I thought that was pretty. And then just a few other little things. I added the puffy alphas. We have a fun sheet of the little words and phrase stickers. I added that in there. A couple of the die cuts. There's a couple more. Remember, repeating things makes everything cohesive. So that's why we repeated that. And then I also repeated the puffy alphas. Then the other thing I wanted to make a note of is you get a package of these, and I'm going to put it on here so you can see it. These white printed acrylic snowflakes. And one of the questions I get all the time is how best to adhere these. You could use you can get thin glue dots. You can get vellum glue dots. Those will work. And you won't see them that much if you put them behind kind of a more busy part of the pattern, and you can stick them down that way. The way that I like to adhere them, that's kind of fun, and it even adds more texture, is with my tiny attacher stapler. So I think this is Tim Holtz, right? Yes, it's the Tim Holtz little tiny attachment. It has the small little staples. And I just go through and I just staple them onto the page. It holds them on, it adds that little bit of texture. And I like that. I like, you know, if you don't like the staples showing, then I would suggest using the glue dots. But I think that spread turned out really, really cute. And then I also did a spread in our Simple Daisy notebook. And this one, I loved this particular page, this pattern. And that's what I love about the Simple Daisy is you have the pattern on one side. There's a couple pages that have the full pattern or are blank, but it makes it really, really easy because you don't necessarily have to add anything to this side if you don't want to. You can just add your photo and your journaling. But I added the Snow Much on this side with the puffy alphas, one of the little glitter swirls, and then some of the star glitter dots, and then added the little December days. And then I did just a simple grid. It's an easy layout to do if you have multiple pictures that you want to show on a layout. I just did 3 pictures, 3 pieces of patterned paper, and then and then you just start layering. Add little bits and pieces to each one, as much or as little as you want. I did some die cuts on these. I did some of the phrase stickers, and then added a couple more of the little stars. And then I put my journaling at the top and at the bottom. So it's a very, very easy, structured layout that you can do that always looks good. A grid always works. And you don't have to necessarily do squares. You could do circles. You could do strips. Same idea. Just picture it in your mind as a grid. You could do the journaling in one of the squares or spaces instead of the top and bottom. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can use this sort of design, especially in a notebook like this. It works really, really well. So those are a couple of ideas that you can use to inspire you if you're using the scrapbooking kit. Okay, you guys may recognize this project as being very similar to what I did with the creative kit for November. And that's because I had so much fun, I had to do it again. In fact, the live class that I'm doing or did, depending on when you're watching this video, for our October celebration is creating one of these little mini albums because they are a lot of fun. You don't have to be super creative. It's not intimidating. I promise. It's a glue stick and pattern paper and maybe a little paint. You don't even have to add photos if you don't want to. It's a super fun, creative little something that you can do in like an hour tops and just have fun, right? The other thing that I like about this, you could do this type of idea on a larger scale for if you're doing like a December daily type of thing or a document December. If you do like Allie Edwards December daily type of idea, you could do this in a notebook and get super artsy. Do it ahead of time, have it ready to go, and then throw in your photographs. Would be really, really easy to layer those in as well. So I'm keeping this on a super small, accessible scale. So I am using our mini notebook. And this is all items from the creative kit, except for the paints. I'll show you those in a minute. From the creative kit for the December Snow Day Society collection. So basically, the first thing I did, I went through and a number of my pages, I pulled out these beautiful Shimmers watercolor paints. These were from the July creative kit. So if you go back to our July creative kit, that was let me think a minute, the Where the Sea Dreams, I think. Yes. And we actually have some of these left, the creative kits. I think so. But these paints have this beautiful shimmer, and I thought they worked great with the whole idea of snow And the Creative Kit comes with these diamond stickles, which is like a glitter glue. And I thought the little shimmer paints worked really, really well with that. The colors were perfect. So I went through and I picked a few pages, and I did some paint splatter. See the shimmer? Isn't that, I don't know if you can get that shimmer from the camera, but how pretty is that? Those watercolor paints are so pretty. So if you have those, pull them out, go through your notebook and just lay down a bunch of splatters and paint some pages, add a little bit of paint here and there. See, I went kind of crazy with the splatters, and have fun with it, right? So that was what I did first, and then I stepped away. I let that dry. I worked on something else for a little bit, and then I came back and I just started layering. So same idea as last month. Make sure I've got that back in frame for you. And then I just started adding some of the alpha stickers, some of the die cuts, some of the rub-ons. I layered in, I used all but one, maybe two of the little deco cards. Those were a lot of fun. I added some fun. This time I did add a couple photographs, and I did add some kind of journaling. I thought it would be fun to add in almost like poems or little sayings and stuff. But it was all about tearing the paper. You get this great paper pad in the Creative Kit of these thinner papers, and they're perfect for tearing. So I just went through and I tore some of them, just a glue stick, nothing fancy. You don't need an adhesive runner or anything like that. And just started building the pages. I added some of the washi tape. I added my printing or my journaling at the very end. So I just started with the paint, and then I went through and I tore different patterns and stuck them down. This, I added some white paint on there. He is a little die cut, one of the deco cards. I added these later as well. And then this one, I just punched a circle punch through that so that you could see this deco card. I even took the envelope that the deco cards come in. I think it's a great element. Just glued that down. A fun thing to do for texture on these pages is kind of bunch up your washi tape when you put it down. And then just go through that way. And then just keep layering. So you can add as much layer, as little layer as you want. Again, the torn paper with the washi strips. There's another torn paper, rub-on, alpha stickers. Another little deco card that I put in there. The paper clips are just from my stash. And then the other thing you can do is have fun with, that's for when I photograph stuff. It's a great idea. It's poster putty, but sometimes when I photograph things flop all over. So I use poster putty to keep things stuck down. So that's why that was in there. But another thing that you can do is tear some of the pages. You can tear off an edge this way. You can tear them in half. Just make sure you don't tear, too deep that you tear off the whole page. So that's what I did here. And then I just added this on top, cut a piece of pattern paper for the back, and then layered some washi tape and some rub-ons over top. And that gives a great kind of different page width, right? So that it shows that little peak behind it, gives you those layers. I think that's so fun as well. And then this is one of the tip-ins. So you get 3 sizes of tip-ins with this kit this month. I love these. These are a great addition in a notebook because you can add more photos. You could even use these to store stickers if you wanted to. You can add things on the outside, on the inside, but they have this area here that has the adhesive that you stick down, and it will then add a page to whatever notebook you're using. So I added that in here. I added some pattern paper and a photograph. And then on top, I added a little die cut. So isn't that cute? So you get these great layers. You add another page in. Here is just some torn pieces of paper. I've got some white paint that I splattered on there, and then another one of the deco cards. And then this one, I put a piece of the torn paper down the middle. I loved this little baking setup here. So I added a couple of die cuts that kind of go with that. And then I actually added a recipe. So, I mean, how fun. You could make the whole thing recipes if you wanted to. You know, if you do a lot of baking through the holidays, how fun would it be to make this a little keepsake with a bunch of recipes? What a great gift too, right? You go through, you add a bunch of recipes to this, and then you bake something, or you include the ingredients to bake something for one of the recipes and give that as a Christmas gift. How lovely would that be? I love that idea. So that's something that you could do with it as well. The I Came, I Thought, I Conquered. I thought that was really cute. Again, some more of the torn paper, some more paint on there, and it has that beautiful shimmer. And again, look how perfect that color is with that. So if you got that creative kit back in July, pull that out and use those with this. It's a lot of fun. And then I loved this Snowy Thoughts Cozy Scribbles. So sometimes let the art lead you, you know, to what you want to do on that page. And I thought it would be fun to journal about crafting. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. It makes me happy. And so I just layered some of the rub-ons and the die cuts and some more. There's another piece of patterned paper down the middle, and then just added that on there. And then I still have a whole bunch of pages to go. Like I said, this would make a great document December type of thing. But yeah, so I have more pages to go. But that's a look at how you can take all of those bits and pieces and real easily just stick down. I went back and added some more of the die cuts when I was done. And then when I was completely done, I went back and I added some of the Stickles in the diamond. This is the diamond. This comes in the kit. The glitter glue. So you can see there's some dots. And again, it's perfect with the whole snow theme. And the one thing I will say, it takes a little while to dry. So that's why I waited till I was completely done. And then I went back and I touched a few things with it. I'd wait for that page to dry, set it aside, add a few more to another page, wait for it to dry, and so on. It worked really well highlighting the little snowflakes. I don't know if you can see that on the camera on here. The other thing I did, and I don't think I included any in here, but this was something I did afterwards, is in the die cuts, there's these really cute snowflakes. Let me pull one of these out. That you could fill in, isn't that pretty? With the glitter glue. And it doesn't really, it stays on there really well. It doesn't really come off. So if you don't like glitter on everything, you don't have to worry. It stays on there. But isn't that pretty? So you can highlight that. But I just liked the idea that I was able to go through and just highlight a few things with the glitter glue. I have some more to do. I had to finish up and move on, but there's some more in here that I want to do. I want to add it to some more pages and some more of the little snowflakes that are in here. But it's a fun way to play, to be creative without a huge commitment. Throw some paint on there, have some fun. That's what the Creative Kit is all about. Let's take a look at what I did with the Stationery Kit this month. So a lot of times I will use the Stationery Kit on the weekly spread. Sometimes I will use it in one of our notebooks. But I wanted to do something a little different this time, and I was totally inspired by the overlay. I thought this was adorable, and I thought it worked so perfect over the stripe pages. So when I kind of lined that up, it just worked. It looked really, really cute over the stripe pages. So that's where I want this to sit in my planner. And you can attach these in a notebook. So if you get any of our notebooks, it would work as well. You would just use a little washi tape and you could cut it down to size and attach it and create a page, a little tip-in page that works on the striped pages of the notebooks as well. Especially would work really well in the A5. And, oh, you know what? Speaking of A5, I need to show you guys these. So we have, and they will be in the store. If they're not already in the store, they will be in the store. But they should already be in the store. So we have A5 size plain notebooks now. They're just grid. They have a black cover. You can see I was playing around stamping on that one. But what I did, I really, really, really love this cheesecloth binding. So we have two options. You can get it traditional, which is the stapled, or you can get it with the cheesecloth binding. Now, let me explain the pros and cons of each a little bit. So the stapled, you can use in a traditional cover where it has the elastic to hold it in. And it, like I said, it's just grid. It's just a nice, you can use this however you want. You can use it for whatever you want. I love that idea. It's totally customizable, right? The black cover is fun. I started stamping them in white there, as you can see. The cheesecloth, what this does is it allows this to lay flat. And I love that. I love that. So the one thing I will note though, so I've had some samples that I've been playing with just to see how well they do with that elastic band on the cheesecloth. It will eventually start to cut into it a little bit because again, it's bound with glue and cheesecloth. It's not folded over. So that string or that elastic will eventually start to cut into the top and bottom. I've been using mine, the one sample I have, I've been using it for 2 months now, semi-regular basis, so at least once every couple days, and I have not had it go all the way through. I've had it start a little bit, so if that's something that wouldn't bother you, but you love the idea of it laying flat, then go ahead and try this. Or what you can do is you can put this in. So I'm getting completely sidetracked here, but I wanted to show this to you guys. Or you can put it in a setup like this where you tuck it into the, where it gets tucked into the cover. So you can do that as well. I absolutely love the fact that it lays flat. I love that. So I am using these like crazy. I've started just kind of some fun different things I'm playing with. I'll share all of that with you in another video sometime. But so this is the cheesecloth one. This is $1 more. So I think this one's like $15.95. These are our normal insert price, which is $14.95. You can get either or, but they're just a great option for us to have in the store. If you are looking for something extra that you want to decorate your own way, or you want to use for a trip or just some plain journaling or sketching or anything like that, then you can totally use those. So side note, but that I was thinking of A5 and I thought I would show you that quick moment. Anyway, back to what I have here. So for my stripe page, I thought it would be fun to show a menu, how you can use those for menu planning. So I added my journaling, or not my journaling, my menu planning on there, one of the pet stickers, and then there is these are so cute. So the stickers that come in the kit have these little quote bubbles that work really cute with all of the critters. So you can combine those. So that's going to be a lot of fun to use this month. But I also thought because this little guy has the scarf all the way around him, I added the Scarf Game Strong on the page behind and just layered it there because I thought that was really cute. Then the other thing I did, so you also get a piece of vellum. I took now these do not come in the stationery kit. These are a separate item. These are the dashboards. But I wanted to show you because they're nice and heavy duty, super cute. I took these and I used it to attach. So I cut it down, I rounded the corners, and then I took a piece of the vellum, or I took the vellum sheet, I cut it down a little bit, and I folded up part of it, and then stitched it, and then I glued the whole thing down. And then this gives me this great little pocket. So now I have a pocket in here that I can tuck the stickers. Show you what I did with the postcard here in a minute. You can tuck the stickers in here. You can tuck the sticky notes in there. I just kind of slid that half and half over the pocket edge. And then these are all vellum stickers from the vellum pack of the snowflakes. And that just kind of combines it, kind of fills in that extra bit on there. But isn't that fun? So now I have my little stickers in there. And then the postcard, a lot of times I will use this in here and I will put my sticky notes on there. But I wanted to show you something different. So you could use this as a washi card. It's heavy enough that you can wrap a bunch of washi around it, tuck that in the pocket as well, and then you have some extra washi without having the bulk of the whole roll. So that is something fun that I did using the items in the stationery kit, and I think it turned out really, really cute. There's also this adorable, this is kind of the highlight, I think, of this whole, aside from, I don't know, I like all of it, but I love the overlay, but I love this little book enamel pin. It has the gold, isn't that pretty? I have this on the pouch this month, but you could totally put it on one of our totes or on one of your past pouches as well. Or even if you have a cute little bag that you put all your flair on or your pins on. But that is part of the collection, part of this particular kit as well.